Language Foundations Vocabulary Flashcards, helping you achieve understanding.
Gather in a mass, sum, or whole. A sum total of many heterogeneous things taken together. The whole amount. Formed of separate units gathered into a mass or whole. Aggregate expenses include expenses of all divisions combined for the entire year. Amount in the aggregate too. Composed of a dense cluster of separate units such as carpels or florets or druplets. Raspberries or aggregate fruits. Material such as sand or gravel used with cement and water to make concrete, mortar, or plaster. Gather in a mass, sum, or whole. Have or possess in combination. A consortium of independent organizations formed to limit competition by controlling the production and distribution of a product or service. Put or add together. Combine resources. Combine so as to form a whole. Mix. Mix together different elements. An occurrence that results in things being united. Add together from different sources. Combine resources. Harvester that heads and threshes and cleans grain while moving across the field. Join for a common purpose or in a common action. These forces combined with others. A sum total of many heterogeneous things taken together. A rounded spherical form. A sum total of many heterogeneous things taken together. An occurrence combining miscellaneous things into a, more or less, rounded mass. Determine the sum of. Be a summary of. The abstract summarizes the main ideas in the paper. The final aggregate. The sum of all our troubles did not equal the misery they suffered. A set containing all and only the members of two or more given sets. The whole amount. A quantity of money. He borrowed a large sum. A quantity obtained by the addition of a group of numbers. The choicest or most essential or most vital part of some idea or experience. Determine the sum of. The whole amount. Add up in number or quantity. Constituting the full quantity or extent, complete. A total failure. A quantity obtained by the addition of a group of numbers. Complete in extent or degree and in every particular. A total eclipse. Damage beyond the point of repair. My son totaled our new car. The whole amount. The state of being total and complete. Appalled by the totality of the destruction. The quality of being complete and indiscriminate. The totality of war and its consequences. Formed of separate units gathered into a mass or whole. The aggregated amount of indebtedness. Formed of separate units gathered into a mass or whole. The common people generally. Separate the warriors from the mass. The property of something that is great in magnitude. He received a mass of correspondence. Often followed by of, a large number or amount or extent. Formed of separate units gathered into a mass or whole. A body of matter without definite shape. A huge ice mass. A musical setting for a mass. An ill-structured collection of similar things, objects or people. A sequence of prayers constituting the Christian Eucharistic rite. Join together into a mass or collect or form a mass. Crowds were massing outside the palace. Roman Catholic Church and Protestant churches, the celebration of the Eucharist. The property of a body that causes it to have weight in a gravitational field. Done by or characteristic of individuals acting together. The collective mind. Forming a whole or aggregate. Members of a cooperative enterprise. Set up on the principle of collectivism or ownership and production by the workers involved, usually under the supervision of a government. Collective farms. Having or involving or consisting of more than one part or entity or individual. Multiple birth. The product of a quantity by an integer. 36 is a multiple of 9. Be all mixed up or jumbled together. To bring or combine together or with something else. Resourcefully he mingled music and dance. Get involved or mixed up with. He was about to mingle in an unpleasant affair. To bring or combine together or with something else. Joined together into a whole. The amalgamated colleges constituted a university. To bring or combine together or with something else. Open. A place to members of all races and ethnic groups. Mix so as to make a random order or arrangement. A commercially prepared mixture of dry ingredients. To bring or combine together or with something else. Mix together different elements. The act of mixing together. Paste made by a mix of flour and water. Add as an additional element or part. Mix water into the drink. An event that combines things in a mixture. A gradual mixture of cultures. Combine, electronic signals. Mixing sounds. Become one. Join or combine. To bring or combine together or with something else. Bring together for a common purpose or action or ideology or in a shared situation. Act in concert or unite in a common purpose or belief. The final aggregate. The arithmetic operation of summing. Calculating the sum of two or more numbers. The summation of 4 and 3 gives 7. A concluding summary, as in presenting a case before a law court. Physiology. The process whereby multiple stimuli can produce a response, in a muscle or nerve or other part, that one stimulus alone does not produce. The final aggregate. An organization regarded as part of a larger social group. The coach said the offensive unit did a good job. Any division of quantity accepted as a standard of measurement or exchange. The dollar is the United States unit of currency. An assemblage of parts that is regarded as a single entity. The team is a unit. A single undivided natural thing occurring in the composition of something else. Units of nucleic acids. An individual or group or structure or other entity regarded as a structural or functional constituent of a whole. Reduced the number of units and installations. A single undivided whole. An idea is not a unit that can be moved from one brain to another. Not injured or harmed. An assemblage of parts that is regarded as a single entity. How big is that part compared to the whole? Acting together as a single undiversified whole. Exhibiting or restored to vigorous good health. Whole in mind and body. To a complete degree or to the full or entire extent, whole is often used informally for wholly. A whole new idea. All of something including all its component elements or parts. Europe considered as a whole. Including all components without exception, being one unit or constituting the full amount or extent or duration, complete. Gave his whole attention. Of siblings, having the same parents. Whole brothers and sisters. Come from. Be connected by a relationship of blood, for example. He comes from humble origins. Add up in number or quantity. Come to one's mind. Suggest itself. The thick white fluid containing spermatozoa that is ejaculated by the male genital tract. Come forth. Move toward, travel toward something or somebody or approach something or somebody. Come down here. Be a native of. Develop into. Proceed or get along. He's come a long way. Come under, be classified or included. This comes under a new heading. Reach a destination. Arrive by movement or progress. Be received. To be the product or result. Melons come from a vine. Be found or available. These shoes come in 3 colors. The furniture comes unassembled. Come to pass. Arrive, as in due course. Dawn comes early in June. Cover a certain distance. Exist or occur in a certain point in a series. Experience orgasm. She could not come because she was too upset. Extend or reach. The sleeves come to your knuckles. Happen as a result. Nothing good will come of this. Have a certain priority. My family comes first. Reach or enter a state, relation, condition, use, or position. Come into contact with a terrorist group. Determine the sum of. Be reasonable or logical or comprehensible. Add up in number or quantity. Develop into. How much there is or how many there are of something that you can quantify. Add up in number or quantity. The bills amounted to $2,000. A quantity of money. The amount he had in cash was insufficient. A quantity obtained by the addition of a group of numbers. Develop into. This idea will never amount to anything. Be tantamount or equivalent to. Her action amounted to a rebellion. The relative magnitude of something with reference to a criterion. An adequate amount of food for 4 people. Informal terms for personal possessions. Overeat or eat immodestly. Make a pig of oneself. She stuffed herself at the dinner. Fill with a stuffing while cooking. Have you stuffed the turkey yet? Senseless talk. Don't give me that stuff. Obstruct. My nose is all stuffed. The tangible substance that goes into the makeup of a physical object. Wheat is the stuff they use to make bread. Press or force. A critically important or characteristic component. Suspense is the very stuff of narrative. Cram into a cavity. The child stuffed candy into his pockets. Fill tightly with a material. Stuff a pillow with feathers. Information in some unspecified form. It was stuff I had heard before. Miscellaneous unspecified objects. The trunk was full of stuff. Treat with grease, fill, and prepare for mounting. Stuff a bearskin. Unspecified qualities required to do or be something. The stuff of heroes. Artifact made by weaving or felting or knitting or crocheting natural or synthetic fibers. She measured off enough material for a dress. Having substance or capable of being treated as fact, not imaginary. Having material or physical form or substance. The tangible substance that goes into the makeup of a physical object. Coal is a hard black material. A person judged suitable for admission or employment. He was university material. Concerned with or affecting physical as distinct from intellectual or psychological well-being. Material needs. Concerned with worldly rather than spiritual interests. Material possessions. Derived from or composed of matter. The material universe. Directly relevant to a matter, especially a law case. His support made a material difference. Information, data or ideas or observations, that can be used or reworked into a finished form. The archives provided rich material for a definitive biography. Things needed for doing or making something. Writing materials. Divide, bulk material, and process as units. Separate or classify into units. Make into a unit. Divide, bulk material, and process as units. Separate or classify into units. The hospital was unitized for efficiency. Make into a unit. Unitize a car body. The aggregate of small plant and animal organisms that float or drift in great numbers in fresh or salt water. The aggregate of actively swimming animals in a body of water ranging from microscopic organisms to whales. The branch of biology that studies plants. All the plant life in a particular region or period. The botany of China.
Become our student and get access to effective and free educational materials. Subscribe to our YouTube channel to become a part of our growing YouTube community and to learn English effectively.